In 2008, during a time of deep economic uncertainty and global financial crisis, an anonymous figure using the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto published a white paper titled Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. This document, posted to a cryptography mailing list, would quietly ignite a revolution. It outlined a method for creating a decentralized digital currency, one that required no banks, no governments, and no middlemen. Just a network of computers, a bit of math, and a lot of trust in code. The core idea was simple but groundbreaking. Instead of relying on a central authority to validate transactions, Bitcoin used a distributed ledger called the blockchain, a continuously growing list of records or blocks that are securely linked using cryptography. Each block contained a list of transactions, and once verified and added to the chain, it became immutable. This structure ensured transparency and security without a centralized overseer. On January 3, 2009, Nakamoto mined the Genesis block, the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain. Embedded in the code was a message, "The Times, 03 Jan 2009, Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks." It was both a timestamp and a political statement, a critique of the traditional banking system and a declaration of Bitcoin's purpose, to create an alternative. Early adopters, mostly cryptographers and tech enthusiasts, began to run the software. At first, Bitcoin had no real-world value. People mined it on their home computers. One of the first known commercial transactions using Bitcoin happened in May 2010, when a programmer named Laszlo Hunyets paid 10,000 Bitcoins for 2 pizzas. At the time, that amount was worth about $41. That day became known as Bitcoin Pizza Day, a symbol of how far the currency would go in years to come. Bitcoin grew slowly but steadily. As more people joined the network, its security and resilience improved. The process of validating transactions, known as mining, involved solving complex mathematical problems. Miners competed to be the first to solve each block, earning new Bitcoins as a reward. This built-in scarcity, only 21 million Bitcoins would ever exist, helped drive value as demand increased. In the early 2010s, online communities like bitcointalk.org and Reddit became centers for Bitcoin discussion and development. Startups began building infrastructure around it: wallets, exchanges, payment processors. In 2011, Bitcoin reached parity with the US dollar for the first time. The world began to take notice. But Bitcoin's early years were also marked by controversy. In 2011, the dark web marketplace Silk Road emerged, allowing anonymous purchases of illegal goods using Bitcoin. When the FBI shut it down in 2013, it seized thousands of Bitcoins. Critics pointed to its use in crime and questioned its legitimacy, while advocates argued that the problem lay with people, not the technology. Meanwhile, Satoshi Nakamoto had disappeared. After some final emails and forum posts in 2010 and early 2011, Nakamoto vanished from public view, handing over control of the Bitcoin repository to other developers. Their identity has remained one of the greatest mysteries in tech history. By 2013, Bitcoin's price had climbed to over $1,000. This rapid rise attracted investors, entrepreneurs, and regulators. Major exchanges like Mt. Gox became key players, until February 2014, when Mt. Gox suddenly collapsed. It had lost over 850,000 Bitcoins, supposedly due to hacks and poor security. The incident caused panic and a sharp drop in price, leading many to doubt Bitcoin's future. Still, Bitcoin persisted. Developers continued improving the protocol. New exchanges with stronger security practices emerged. Countries began exploring regulation, while some, like Japan, officially recognized Bitcoin as legal tender. Others banned or restricted it. Through all of this, the Bitcoin network never went offline. It continued processing transactions day and night, untouched by any government or corporation. From 2015 to 2017, Bitcoin became the face of a larger movement: cryptocurrency. Ethereum, Litecoin, and hundreds of other digital coins launched, each with its own vision. Bitcoin remained the original, often referred to as digital gold, for its role as a store of value. In 2017, Bitcoin underwent a contentious upgrade debate. Some developers wanted to increase the size of each block to allow more transactions and reduce fees. Others believed it would compromise decentralization. The result was a split. Bitcoin continued as is, while a new version called Bitcoin Cash was created. It was one of the first major forks in Bitcoin's history. Later that year, Bitcoin's price soared to nearly $20,000. News outlets reported on people getting rich overnight. Retail investors flooded into the space, often with little understanding of the technology. By early 2018, the price crashed back to around $6,000. This marked the start of what many called the crypto winter, a long period of falling prices and skepticism. But under the surface, Bitcoin was maturing. Institutional interest grew. Companies like Fidelity and Square began offering crypto services. Wall Street started to take notice. Bitcoin was no longer just a fringe experiment. It was becoming part of the mainstream financial conversation. In 2020, during the global COVID-19 pandemic, governments around the world injected massive amounts of stimulus into their economies. Fears of inflation and currency devaluation renewed interest in Bitcoin as a hedge. That year, companies like MicroStrategy and Tesla invested billions in Bitcoin, adding it to their balance sheets. By late 2021, Bitcoin hit an all-time high of nearly $69,000. El Salvador became the first country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. Major financial institutions launched Bitcoin-related products. The asset had transformed from an underground movement into a global financial force. Yet, Bitcoin still faced many challenges. Environmental concerns arose due to the high energy use of proof-of-work mining. Governments debated regulation, with some cracking down on crypto entirely. Bitcoin's price remained volatile, leading some to view it as a risky speculation rather than a stable currency. But Bitcoin's true legacy may not be in its price or even its adoption. It proved that decentralized trust is possible, that people around the world, without knowing or trusting each other, could coordinate, transact, and store value without relying on a central authority. Bitcoin continues to operate, block by block, day after day. As it enters its second decade, the world is still trying to understand exactly what it is: a currency, a commodity, a revolution. Whatever it may be, Bitcoin has already left an indelible mark on history, and its story is far from over. If you found this video interesting, give it a like. It really helps more people discover the channel. Leave a comment to share your thoughts or suggest a future topic. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to keep exploring the world through AI.